People must be having a laugh. If you can't kiss your own children on the lips, I still kiss my mum and my dad on the lips, and I wouldn't think twice. Joe still kisses his mum on the... I don't think it's has any... just don't think it's a big deal at all. And I look to my parents as a safety net for me. If I'm ever scared or worried, I'll get in my mum's bed and I'll sleep with my mum, because I feel like nothing can happen to me as if my mum and dad are there.
They protect you.
Yeah, and I can't believe that anyone would make someone feel uncomfortable about kissing their own children.
And do you kiss your kids on the lips?
Yeah, all the time. Yeah, constantly. Just loving them in general is what you live
do
for,
with Lila as well. I'm always kissing her on the lips, you know, and Lauren and Steve do as well. It's just part of what we do.
But see, it's interesting because I don't. I kiss mine on the cheek, but I don't find it odd. It's just something that I don't necessarily do. And
parking that now, because that's obviously a separate issue. There is something, and I think because some of the reaction to that photo is part of the problem, is that there does come a stage in our children's lives, particularly I think with their fathers, particularly with my daughters, where, you know, Gary often takes our youngest away on their own for a little weekend every year. It's the thing that they do. They have done since she was tiny. And this year he said, you know, the sharing a room thing, because she's 12 now. And he sort of said, well, probably because of her... You know, she's growing up and I don't want her to sort of... But that wouldn't cross her mind at all. No. And it's quite I found that really sort of sad in a way. I understand why he's saying it, but I think... Is he saying that because that's what he really thinks, or is it because society...
People like that.
But I can remember years ago with my uncle, it was years ago when, you know, you used to get your pictures developed, and I know this same thing happened with a very high-profile celebrity, where taking pictures of the kids in the bath and this sort of thing. When basically it was a celebrity had taken her photographs to be developed at a well-known high street place, and she got
Somerville. It's in the domain.
And she was reported in that it was inappropriate photographs. And I can remember him stepping back and thinking, maybe I shouldn't do this anymore. And it was such an innocent thing that parents do.
I just feel like people that make remarks like those towards Victoria and Harper are the same people that make us become really overprotective and strange and paranoid around our own children. And why shouldn't they be able to run around naked? Why shouldn't they be able to be free? And why shouldn't we be able to kiss them? And we then become paranoid as parents. We're scared for them to be in the same room as their own family, like, as they're getting older, which is so strange. And then we sort of, I feel like, breed a whole race of humans that don't really know how to go out into the real world and handle themselves, because we mollycoddle them.
OK.
But there is a whole sort of complexity. I understand completely what you're saying, and I'm with you on that. I think, you know, comments like that are ridiculous. But then you have the flip side. I do think, because of social media again, you know, I don't think that incidents of abduction or paedophilia have gone up any more than they were in the 60s or 70s, but in those days, you had to be sitting watching the 6 o'clock news at a certain time to know about it, whereas now it goes like that, and it fuels our paranoia. And I remember, you know, the defining moment for me, I reported on the Sarah Payne case, and it was such a random thing that she had a row with her brother. She just happened to come out onto the road just as a prolific paedophile was driving past in his van and bundled her into his van. And I remember that point of just thinking, I don't want to get like that. I don't want to be where I'm worrying about my daughters being out on their own. But I do.
You do.
You get to that point because you think, I don't want to be the parent that gets that call.
That's
and
the
it's
thing.
A constant dilemma.
I feel like because it is so out there in the media and in the papers, I'm the world's worst. I do not let my children out of my sight. I'm so paranoid. But I am slowly watching teenagers grow into young adults and thinking about my children and seeing the way I shelter them from life because I'm so scared of these things will definitely have an effect on how they go out into the world afterwards. And I am worried about that. Will they be independent? Will they ever be able to leave the nest comfortably and have like...
And you don't want to create anxiety in them either. You don't want them to go out the front door and think that everyone is a bad person, because obviously the majority of people aren't.
It's a very difficult one, isn't it? Because it is finding that balance of educating your kids and providing them with the life skills that they need to get out there. But yeah, but protecting them at the same
them that
time.
there are dangers out there. I mean,
Yeah.
when we were growing up, it was like never take sweets from a stranger, never get into a car with a stranger. And I know that schools nowadays, like who was saying about
it was me, because
wasn't it,
yesterday
about the
I had the conversation with Amy. Amy's 9, and I picked her up from school, and there was a community officer standing outside her school gates, and that was because in the morning a man had tried to, well, acting very suspiciously around two primary school girls walking towards her school, and obviously everyone reacted very quickly and the situation was dealt with. So I said to her, do you know why the police are here? And she'd heard about it. So again, had to reiterate to her as a 9-year-old, you know, don't talk to strangers.
Yeah.
Don't, if somebody says, oh, your mum's busy, I've been sent to come and pick you up from school, don't get in. If they offer you sweets, if they say they've got a puppy in the back of the car, don't
See,
believe
because
them.
of all of that, you then understand maybe why certain men, and not necessarily even with their own children, feel like a lot of men now, if they see a lost child crying on the street, they're going to look around for a woman.
Yeah.
Because if they walk up and approach that child with the best intentions of helping that child, somebody somewhere might go, hang on, what are you doing with that? What have you done to make that child...
It's so scary.
If you've enjoyed that, then why not click here for more? And don't forget to subscribe by clicking here so that you never miss out on the best Loose Women moments.